But people are wired differently, right? Genetically speaking. Like, do you have roommates? You're a fourth year. You don't have roommates?
I do have roommates.
Do you all have these different kind of personalities that?
Yeah.
At some level, do you think that's just genetic? Man, that's not. So then the question becomes, okay, well, if that's true of individuals, why isn't it true of groups? That we could look at these groups like this and say, like, well, some people are just wired a little bit differently than other people. You see how you could think genetics is involved? There's something about Asians. It's not like it's 30% for Asians and 28% for blacks and Hispanics. It's like 73 and 3.5. God must have had a real big sense of humor to say, like, yeah, let me have all these differences with people and we'll let them just like duke it out and come up with all their theories about why that's the case or whatever. I don't know, right? It must be something. So here's evolution. This is the fundamental idea. When we were having this conversation, did at any point you all think that maybe people are just wired differently in our genetics, in our DNA? At any point did you think that? Like, because you look at these great differences here. Did you think it at all?
I don't really think so.
You didn't? At some point you didn't look at this and say, hey, maybe us Asians are just a little bit, we're just wired genetically.
I just feel like a lot of rich Asians just immigrate to the US. I feel like that.
Yeah, so it's more of that. So you were thinking that. How about the two of you? Did you go?
No, I didn't really think that.
Yeah? Shreya?
I didn't think that either.
But could you, though? Did you not think it because it's racist to think it? Or did you just really not think it? Because people on the live stream were thinking it. So I'm thinking if people on the live stream were thinking, and I knew that because Jamie, was talking in my ear throughout class, telling me, because this is an earpiece I wear, that I'm talking to my team, one of whom is in Maryland and one of whom is in Lancaster. And they're telling me what's happening on the stream while I'm in class. And so on the stream, a lot of people were talking about genetics, man. But you all weren't doing that. But people are wired differently, right? Genetically speaking. Like, do you have roommates? You're a fourth year. You don't have roommates?
I do have roommates.
Do you all have these different kind of personalities that?
Yeah.
At some level, do you think that's just genetic, man? That's not.
No, I think it's like we're all from out of state, but like different states. So I think it's like how we grew up, and also like, yeah.
How about you? Do you have?
Yeah, I got a roommate from Beijing and a roommate from Taiwan.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of difference between us.
Yeah. How much of it do you think is really wired into them?
I don't really know. I got a white roommates when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
And I felt there's a lot of difference at how we treat things.
Okay. So, but you're looking more at sociology. So let me just say this. But every child's different. You ask any mother or any father, it's like these children are different. One comes out of the womb screaming and hollering, and the other comes out of the room really quiet. And 30 years later, the quiet one is still quiet, and the one that's screaming and hollering is still screaming and hollering. This kind of stuff, right? So you ask any parent about the power of genes in shaping the behavior of individuals, and the parent will say, absolutely, man. I saw it from the first day I held my child. Right, this kind of thing. Okay, not everybody, but that's not uncommon, okay? So that's at the individual level. But now we want to look at groups. So then the question becomes, okay, well, if that's true of individuals, why isn't it true of groups? That we could look at these groups like this and say, like, well, some people are just wired a little bit differently than other people, right? So have you guys thought about that? So when I look at this, And this was a slide we used the other day. Enrollment of the top high schools based on test scores. Look at where Asians are 73% of Stuyvesant High School. And the students in New York City who are black and Hispanic, they make up 3.5% of all the students at Stuyvesant High School. Like, how do you not get to a place where at some level you're thinking, that is such a great difference, it's such a vast difference, that genetics at some level must be involved? Do you see how you could think genetics is involved? There's something about Asians. It's not like it's 30% for Asians and 28% for blacks and Hispanics. It's like 73 and 3.5. So I want to ask you this question very clearly. Do you understand how we might get to the place where we say, yeah, genetics has to be part of this? Do you got it?
I will say it's not about the genetic.
No, and it's not about that. Do you understand how you could conclude that it's genetics? Yeah, you don't see that? The two of you would shake your head yes?
I see where you can get that from, but I don't think that's like the prime idea.
Okay, it's not the prime thing, but you see how you could conclude that it's part of it.
Yeah.
Because this is the problem. When we're having these conversations, people are watching the stream and they're going like, dude, it's about genetics. Like, how do you not think it's at some level about genetics? This is what we're going to explore today, because it just makes sense that people would think that. Okay, so here, go to the next slide. So here it is: personal decisions, structural historical factors, and genetics. So today it's the genetics piece that we're going to look at. Okay, to what degree does our DNA, the composition, our admixture, our markers that are unique to different groups. So Scheiding, so he and I have different genetic markers, right? Tanner and I share more markers, maybe. And Shreya and I, all three of them. So we're going like, what is it about these groups? So first thing, evolution. Can one of you just explain the basic idea behind evolution?
The stronger ones survive.
Stronger ones survive. You got to give us more than that.
It's like through time we're changing into like the main okay, so we always talk about like evolution, but we also talk about like survival of the fittest, but it's not like the same thing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But evolution is just basically like how we adapt over time.
Okay. Tanner, do you add anything to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say how we've adapted to change and things that have happened in the world.
Okay. All right. And creation? How does creation explain all of these? How does creation explain the theory of creation? How does it explain all of these differences that you see? Look out here in this classroom. How does the theory of creation, as opposed to the theory of evolution, explain all of these differences? There's a creator, and the creator creates everything, right? In however many days, doesn't really matter. Whether days equal millions of years, or it doesn't really matter. And the creator, at some level, would have decided that, hey, I want to see people with all these differences, because the creator, God, must have had a real big sense of humor to say like, yeah, let me have all these differences with people, and we'll let them just like duke it out and come up with all their theories about why that's the case or whatever. I don't know, right? It must be something. And if it is about genetics, if it really is, if genetics explains the differences that I showed you with family income or family household wealth and education and test taking and all that, and the creator decided, hey, I'm going to make some groups superior, smarter than other groups, and some groups dumber than other groups, Some groups more capable than other groups, some groups lazier than other groups, right? Ancestry groups, racial groups. Then what's that say about the Creator? Okay, but the idea of creation is somehow we get to have all these differences. And people break it down in these different kinds of ways, but whatever, it's there. And maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Evolution, the idea of evolution is life forms adapt to their environments. You have to adapt. And the life forms that are most adapted to particular environments are the ones that thrive. And they pass on their genes, and they continue to creating new generations of that life form. And then once in a while, there's just sort of some little bit of genetic mutation in that life form. And the genetic mutation means that that being can do something that the other ones can't, or can survive in some way. And then that mutation, somehow, any of that particular species that has that mutation does really well, and then they thrive. And then we just see over millions, billions of years, we just see these changes take place, and eventually we get to this thing we get to here, okay? Which is a mystery. And creation is a mystery, and God is a mystery, and evolution and science is a mystery, okay? And they're all theories, because evolution's a theory, because you start putting these hypotheses out, and you look at it, and you say, like, well, it looks like this, and then you test the hypothesis, and then you build new ones, and well, creation, there's not a lot of theories that you can have, but nonetheless, people have very strong opinions about it. Okay, so this is important. So now, we're going to go. So go to the next slide. So here's evolution. This is the fundamental idea with human beings and how we got to be different. First off, if it's creation, then it's just, well, God or whatever the Creator just decided that we're going to have all these differences. So, okay, great. There's not much more you can say to that. But here we go. So human beings, Homo sapiens, emerged right here. See all the red. And before Homo sapiens is the Neanderthals, and then Homo erectus. And we sort of see they spread all up into here. But Homo sapiens emerged at this time, 200,000 more or less years ago, right around this area, and just merged, just traveled in all these different directions, okay? This is where we first see the initial fossils of what becomes us, modern-day human beings. And the oldest we find is 200 to 250,000 years ago. This map's a little old. People keep finding new things. And then they start traveling around. So humans, Homo sapiens, start traveling all over, down here into Asia, into the islands, up across the Bering Strait, into the Americas, and we're populating the entire planet. And as we populate the planet, our bodies are adapting to different conditions, which is key. All right? So here,